Hello darlings, welcome back to my channel. My name is Coralie and today we're going to be trying some a new makeup brand, basically. Haggard, I don't really know how to say it. This is a C beauty brand, so it's based out of China, and they sent me these three products to kind of try out, and I've been seeing a lot of their stuff online, like, you know, different little palettes and stuff like this, so I was, you know, curious to see how it would work. So full disclosure, these products were sent to me in PR. I did not pay for them with my own money. They were sent to me, gifted to me by the brand. I have no obligation to post about these products, but I am choosing to because I feel like there isn't enough content about these on the internet, and I wish we could have, you know, a little bit more to better understand the stuff that we might be wanting to purchase. We're gonna start with the eyeshadows. Here I have the Ecstasy of Saintess Scepter series. This is what this looks like. The packaging is very pretty on these. These are 5-shade eyeshadow palettes. This one retails currently for $25.43, but usually retails for $30.40, right? Then we have the Ragnarok Scepter series, which is this gold number right here. This is what the packaging looks like. This one retails currently for $21.43, but usually retails for $30.40. So these are not by any means like super cheap because they're 5 shadows and they're like $30, but for indie eyeshadows, it's not like the most expensive. It's not cheap though. This Scepter series double-ended glassy lip gloss retails for $12.70 or $18.50 when there's no sale going on. Okay, I'm gonna give y'all a short review of this lip. It's a nice shade. I really like the shade of this lip product. The stain is pretty. I really hate the taste. I hate the taste, and so I don't know how much I'm gonna use this. I do think it's pretty. The lip gloss side is a little minty. It's not spicy, it doesn't burn, but it is minty. And I personally like that. I don't mind. And I love how glossy it is. It's super, super glossy. So I will definitely be using that gloss side. I don't know about the stain side, you know, it depends, but I do think it's beautiful. My expertise, you guys know, is eyeshadow palettes, so let's discuss these. There's going to be 2 tutorials, one with each palette, but let's start with the one that I'm wearing today. The pink one right here. This one has 2 shimmers and 3 mattes. I have to mention that this shimmer was extremely emollient. I'm talking downright creamy. And so I did use some paper towels to like press it because I was like, I can't do this right now. Like, I don't want it to be too oily, but it definitely looks like it's gonna crease. I'm not gonna lie. I'll keep an eye out for that and I'll tell you on the screen. But it's definitely like a more creasy eyeshadows. It's almost tacky. You know what I mean on my eyes, which I have not met in a little bit of a while. But yeah, it's a beautiful, beautiful shifty. It's almost like pink to orange to green, so it's really, really beautiful. This is a stunning shade. I just wish it was a little bit drier. I mean, with time it's going to get drier. The shade next to it is like this purple to almost green, like black based color, and it's definitely not as wet and easier to apply, I feel like. Let's talk about the shimmers in this palette. This one is particularly flaky. I would recommend using some kind of base, or maybe one of the things you can do is just like rub your finger in it and just like scrape it on the side, because that'll help even it out on your finger. But this one is like really sparkly, really flaky, but it looks really nice. And this shade is beautiful, you guys. This is a super, super sparkly shade. I like the formula of these. They didn't feel too creamy, too emollient, or any of that. So personally, I just feel like the shimmers in this palette were more stable than the shimmers in the other palette. Now let's talk about the mattes. Each of these palettes have 3 mattes, which I prefer that they have 3 mattes to shimmers. It's a ratio that fits my style of makeup better, I would say. Now, I'm not gonna lie to y'all. The shimmers are definitely the better parts of these palettes. The mattes have a pretty dry consistency. And the way I want to explain that to you is that shadows can be powdery and not be dry. These shadows are powdery and they are dry, which makes it difficult to build upon another. Think about if something is so powdery, it's gonna slip. Nothing is gonna stick to it, which means that if your building looks going from the lightest to the darkest shade, you're not gonna get as much pigment as you could from your darkest shades, because like the pigment is just going to slip, it's not going to stick. And if you do the contrary, which is going in with a dark shade and then blending it out with a lighter shade, it's so dry that it doesn't actually like grab onto and move, you know, the other pigment. Once you put the pigment, it's pretty much settled and it's down. So in my personal opinion, these shadows are not the best for beginners because I do feel they can be a little bit finicky. I wouldn't recommend them to beginners. I would recommend them to people who probably like just putting one matte in the crease and just going all out with shimmers, or you know what I mean? Because I just don't feel like, look at this. I have blended worse shades together and not have gotten a line this harsh. Like, I just feel like it doesn't allow for a smooth blend. And listen, if you're going to question my qualifications, I've been doing makeup since I was 15. I'm literally 23 years old. Like, I've been doing this for 8 years. I know what I'm doing generally most of the time. And so I just feel like the mattes in this brand are not as good as they could be. A lot of indie brands have incredible matte formulas, and I fear that this is not one of them. That's pretty much it for my review on the shadows. Let's go into the looks, and I will have been putting swatches, by the way, on the screen, but let's go into the looks and to the outro. We're going to start with the shade Odin, which is the lightest brown matte in this, and I'm just going to blend it roughly with a fluffy brush all over my crease. This is just going to give us like a nice base to start, you know, blending the darker shades on top. This is a pretty neutral shade, so not too warm and not too cool. Then I'm going to go into Catastrophe, which is the darkest brown in the palette, and I'm going to put it on the outer and inner corner. We're trying to create a halo eye situation, which is why I'm applying it in this manner. Buffing all of that out with a big fluffy brush just to help the blend. You know, in my review I said it was a little harder, so let's work with it. Then I'm taking Armageddon, which is the black, and just creating a small little shadow wing. This is such a great tip if you're scared of using dark shadows in your palettes because it's really easy to do. Then I'm going to take Ragnarok, which is the flaky gold shade, and look how beautiful that shade is. It is very pretty, and the fact that it's flaky makes it very reflective. Then I'm going to take the shade Gungnir, not really sure, but yeah. This is the final look. As you can see, it's pretty neutral, very golden, very warm. I will see you guys for the next look with the next palette. So, yeah. Let's start with Saintess, which is a matte lighter pink, I would say, and I'm going to pack that with a tiny brush all over the inner crease of my eye. This is just going to lay the foundation for that eyeshadow look, but you know, it's a pretty important shade to use. Then I'm going to go into the Midnight Ode shade, which is the darkest brown. I don't know why I didn't show it to you. I'm wondering right now. But yeah, I'm going to create almost like a cut crease shape or like a liner, graphic liner shape. And then we're going to start blending it out with Saintess, which is the pink. As you can see, this is not easy. I'm going to take the shade The Norns to use it as a matte brow bone. I'm like really out of frame in this, but it's because the blend was giving me trouble. That's what's going on. Then I'm just cleaning it up with some concealer, and we're going to go into the shimmers, the Heart of Saintess and the Kenosis shade. These are beautiful, like shifty shades. You can see the shifts in the camera, which is honestly super impressive. But yeah, that's the final eye look. Okay, we're going to try this double-ended lip situation. There's a like stain side, I think. What shade is this? It's written in Mandarin, I believe, so can't really tell. It's really thin, but it does bring a little bit of color. That's a nice shade. Okay, I'm gonna do a second layer. The one thing I will say, because I did try this already, but just without a lip liner on my bare lips, and it tastes not great. Admittedly, I don't know if when it dries down it doesn't taste like that, but yeah, anyways, they also have a lip gloss side, which seems to have like purple to green sparkle, and this is a silicone applicator. It smells really good, but yeah, it's bizarre. Ah. Doesn't taste great, but it's super glossy. Okay. So these are the final looks slash demo of the products. I hope you guys enjoyed. Tell me how you feel about these. Like, how do they look to you? I feel like because they have more neutral undertones, a lot more people are going to find them wearable and easy to like pair with, but I just feel like the formula is not at the top of what it could be, and so I think Haggard has an opportunity to maybe work and tweak those mattes a little bit and then just have really beautiful like 5-pan eyeshadow palettes, because I am really into the fact that they are 5-pan eyeshadow palettes, because I think it's practical, easier, but it can still be fun, especially when you add like multi-chromes and stuff like this. Thank you again so much to Haggard for sending these to me. Don't take my criticism as anything other than just trying to help y'all build like a better brand, better formula. I'm grateful I got to try these out, and I will see you guys for my next video. Don't forget to follow me on all my social medias, which is Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. Don't really follow me on Twitter, but anyways, I'll link all those down below, and I will see you guys next time.